It was good to me, but I'm way happier where I'm at now. It was good to see people. It was fun to play in front.
This is Ball Gear Rhythm USA, where basketball is more than a game. It's a heartbeat, a war cry, and a legacy in motion. The lights blaze bright over the court, but it isn't just the LEDs cutting through the air tonight. It's the electricity in the crowd, the unshakable tension that lingers before the first whistle, and the eyes of thousands locked on the hardwood, all waiting for the story to unfold. Tyler Marsh, stepping into this moment as head coach, knows what this night means. It's not just another game. It's the first chapter of a new page, a new version of Indiana Fever basketball, and across from them, the Chicago Sky. With size, speed, and a hunger that doesn't let up. The ball is tipped, and instantly, the pace surges like a heartbeat finding its rhythm. From the opening moments, Caitlin Clark is already in motion, reading screens, diving into passing lanes, and scanning the floor with that signature precision. Her presence forces Chicago to stretch thin, to rotate faster than they want, and even in these first possessions, you can feel the battle lines forming. Cardoso's size looms in the paint, and Chicago tries to balance their attack with added perimeter shooting. But Clark, whether scoring or assisting, is involved in almost everything Indiana touches. She meets Angel Reese at a screen, steps back into space, and the ball swings. Kiana Nurse catches and fires. The shot is just off. Boston fights for the rebound, but the Sky push it back the other way. Clark circles out to the wing. Howard rolls hard to the basket. The connection is seamless. A quick lob, and Indiana's offense breathes easy for a moment. But Angel Reese is relentless, attacking the rim, forcing Indiana's defense to collapse. Her size and energy are a problem that demands an answer, and early on, both teams are trading blows like prize fighters feeling out the opening round. Kelsey Mitchell works the perimeter, fighting for space, and on one possession, she's boxed out by not one but two defenders. Still, she stays in motion, ready for the next attack. Chicago runs the floor with speed. Vanderloot pushes, pulling the defense toward her, looking for that extra pass. Shots come quick, and while some fall short, the pace is unrelenting. Nurse gets another open look. Again, it rattles off. Indiana regroups, moving the ball, looking for rhythm. Natasha Howard steps into her role like she's been here for years. A high-class problem, as the commentators call it. She can guard bigs, stretch the floor, and bring an intensity that matches Chicago's physicality. Angel Reese gets denied. In the paint by Boston, and the crowd roars. Defense turning into offense in a heartbeat. Clark thrives in rivalries, always has. And this one, with the Sky, is charged with more than just standings. It's about pride. It's about the unspoken history between players. Boston, Clark, Howard, they move in unison, their offense looking sharper with each possession. But Chicago's long defenders and quick hands keep things close. Atkins, newly acquired, uses her size to disrupt passing lanes. Turner checks in, testing Indiana's depth. Sydney Colson pushes the tempo for Chicago, elevating in mid-range spots, forcing the Fever to adjust on the fly. From the floor, Mitchell hustles, drawing her defender, slipping passes inside. Allen finds daylight, but Chicago's defense tightens. They've clearly studied this Indiana roster, and they're forcing every shot to be earned. The Sky's first quarter lead isn't built on flashy plays. It's built on discipline, on controlling the tempo just enough to keep Indiana chasing. Atkins leans into her veteran instincts, making the extra pass, reading mismatches. Mitchell hops through the lane, finishing at the rim as the crowd erupts. But the response is swift. Chicago answers, not letting Indiana build momentum. The Fever are looking for a spark, and it comes in the form of defense. Allen tips a pass. Boston dives for the loose ball, and Clark is gone in transition. She pulls up from deep, the kind of range that makes the arena hold its breath. But instead, she threads it inside to Howard for the finish. It's unselfish, it's smart, it's Clark at her finest. Natasha Howard isn't just scoring, and she's anchoring this defense. 15 points already and still barking out assignments on the other end. The chemistry between her and Boston is still forming, but you can feel it clicking with every possession. Vandersloot tries to break free. Boston shadows her step for step. Clark works the 2-for-1 opportunity late in the quarter, and Indiana heads to the bench knowing the margin is thin, but the fire is lit. Tyler Marsh talks about development, about growth, but tonight it's also about grit. Chicago isn't going anywhere quietly, and the Fever are going to have to match every ounce of physicality with precision and composure. Angel Reese, crashing the boards with double-digit rebounds already, is forcing Indiana to think twice about every missed shot. Boston battles her for position, each possession a mini war in the paint. Mitchell finds Reese inside, pounding in. The lane. Howard switches to contest. The shot falls short. Indiana grabs the rebound and runs. The crowd senses something building, the rhythm tilting toward the Fever, but Chicago keeps finding ways to slow it down. And then, the moment everyone's been waiting for. Clark, off the screen, sees just a sliver of daylight and rises from deep. The shot splashes through, the crowd explodes, and suddenly the energy in the arena is different. This isn't just a game anymore. It's a statement. It was the kind of night that basketball remembers. The kind where every bounce of the ball feels like it's carrying the weight of a season, where every cheer from the crowd is a roar of belief, and where every second left on the clock seems to echo in the hearts of thousands. The Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky stepped into the spotlight knowing that this wasn't just another game. This was about pride, momentum, and proving that in the fight for playoff positioning, they could stand tallest when it mattered most. From the moment the ball was tossed into the air, there was a sharp edge to every possession. The Fever, led by their electrifying rookie Caitlin Clark, came in with the same fearlessness that's defined their rise this season. Clark had already carved her name into the story of the game, orchestrating the offense, knocking down big shots, threading passes through impossibly small windows. But now, late in the fourth, she was staring at history. She was on the cusp of something rare, something special, a near triple-double that would send another shockwave through the league. And she wasn't alone. Aaliyah Boston was a wall in the paint, swallowing rebounds like they were her personal property. Kelsey Mitchell was slicing through defenders with the same quick first step that's become her trademark. Nalissa Smith was crashing the glass and running the floor with relentless energy. The Fever were moving as one, their chemistry as tight as it had been all season, but Chicago wasn't folding. Not tonight. The Sky, powered by the ever-dangerous Kalia Copper, and the veteran poise of Dana Evans, refused to let the game slip away. For every run the Fever made, Chicago had an answer. For every big shot Clark drilled, Copper found a way to respond. It was basketball at its purest form. Attack, counterattack, momentum swinging like a pendulum with the clock ticking down. The final minutes were chaos and beauty all at once. Clark took the ball at the top of the arc, the crowd already rising to its feet as if they knew what was coming. She crossed over, pulled up, and drilled a deep three that sent Gainbridge Fieldhouse into an explosion of sound. But the Sky, cool under pressure, came right back with a mid-range dagger of their own. Timeouts were called. Coaches barked out assignments. Every player on the floor had the same look in their eyes. The game was hanging in the balance, and one mistake could be the difference between victory and heartbreak. Boston secured a rebound in traffic, muscles straining as she fought off. Two defenders and immediately kicked it to Clark. The rookie point guard sprinted down the court, eyes scanning like radar before finding Mitchell in the corner. Mitchell rose, released, and splashed the three, her teammates swarming her with high fives as the Fever bench erupted. Still, Chicago refused to bow. Evans weaved into the paint, twisting through contact to finish a layup that silenced the crowd just enough to remind them this was far from over. With under a minute left, Clark held the ball again, pounding the dribble as the crowd counted down the shot clock. She drove left, spun back to her right, and floated a pass over 2 defenders to Boston for the layup. It was perfect execution. The kind of play that reminds you why Clark is already being spoken of as a generational floor general. The Sky took one last shot at a comeback, but the Fever's defense locked in, forcing a desperation heave that clanged off the rim. The rebound found Boston's hands again, and the game was theirs. The horn sounded, and the Fever had done it. As the team celebrated, Clark's stat line flashed on the Jumbotron. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. Just shy of the triple-double, but it didn't matter. What mattered was the win, the roar of the crowd, and the message sent to the rest. Of the league, this Fever team is not just here to compete. They're here to contend. And for Caitlin Clark, the story is only just beginning. So if you've been following this journey, the growth, the grit, the unforgettable nights like this, make sure you're locked in for what's next. Because this team is on a collision course with something special, and you won't want to miss a second. Hit that subscribe button, drop a comment with your favorite moment from tonight's game, and join us as we ride this wave together. The Indiana Fever are rising, and the best chapters of this story are still to come. The game moves into its next chapter. The tension still crackling in the air, the crowd still buzzing, and every player on the floor knowing the margin for error is razor thin. This is no ordinary night of basketball. This is a war of wills. And right now, the Fever and Sky are trading blows with the ferocity of playoff basketball. Boston steps beyond the arc, a place her size rarely ventures with such confidence, and lets it fly. The ball cuts through the air, the arc perfect, the rotation pure, splash. A three-pointer from the big woman, and the Fever bench erupts. It's not just the points, it's the statement. Boston's telling Chicago, "You can't just guard me inside." Williams answers by lowering her shoulder, driving through traffic, and finding Boston again inside. 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and she's still just warming up. Allen threads a perfect feed to her on the roll. And even though the finish doesn't fall this time, the rhythm between them is growing stronger with every possession. Clark drifts toward the sideline, eyes scanning, Angel Reese's frame looming in her periphery. There's something poetic about this matchup. 2 rookies, both stars, both with a fire in their eyes that says, "I'm here to take over this league." The whistle blows, 3 on Howard. The tension spikes. Howard's presence has been a defensive wall for Indiana all night, and the thought of losing her rhythm this early is a dagger to their game plan. Still, she stays locked in. Bannum swings it to Reese, a quick swim move, and she's inside again. It's a collision of bodies, elbows, and grit. The kind of basketball that leaves bruises you feel the next morning. Caitlin Clark, unbothered by the chaos, calls for the ball. She doesn't force the moment. Instead, she drives and kicks to Mitchell, who's cutting like a knife into the heart of the defense. One touch pass to Howard. Bucket. It's basketball poetry authored in real time. The third quarter is unfolding like a tug of war. Bonner comes alive for Chicago, rising in mid-range spots, forcing Indiana's defenders to close late. Cardoso pounds inside, trying to muscle Boston out of her comfort zone. Every trip down the floor feels heavier, as if the scoreboard is pressing down on the players with every second that ticks away. Clark sees the pressure, welcomes it. Off.